This is the video portion of the inspection where I take a look at the inner walls of the flue. We're currently at the very top. There is no spark arrestor. There is no rain cap. This should be at least a spark arrestor for fire safety concerns. Now, one thing you cannot see from this angle is the crown being the very top concrete cap. It's pretty worn away. It has some pretty significant cracking in it. This can lead to water getting into the masonry structure. This structure does have rebar in it, so when that water comes into contact with the rebar can expand and you get vertical cracking in the masonry structure. Now, there are a few signs of some of that going on right now. It hasn't gone to the point where it's affected the structure in such a negative way where I'd be talking about removal of the system, but some patching of those cracks would be advised. What we're looking at straight ahead is where two flue tiles meet. When they built the system, they put this flue tile system in. It's your heat barrier. They put a mortar coating in between each joint. Now, just over age, time, wear, deterioration, especially when there's no rain cap over the top, that mortar coating has fallen off, and there's some pretty significant, not significant, but noticeable gaps where these flue tiles meet. It is considered a potential fire safety concern, as now the chimney structure is not meeting the original safety design requirements that it was supposed to meet when the system was first built. Right there we can see where more of that mortar coating is worn away. There are some vertical cracks in the tiles, kind of like what we see right there, but more significant other areas. If I see some more significant vertical cracks, I'll point them out for you. The vertical cracks don't necessarily mean that the system has been affected structurally in a negative way, such as an earthquake, but it does mean that the flue system has been, to a certain point, damaged. This is the smoke chamber. Smoke chamber being the transition between the actual firebox to the first flue. We can see it's a fairly rough transition between the smoke chamber to the first flue. There's a pretty significant gap straight ahead. This is mostly unlined brick. Smoke chamber is dirty, should be cleaned and serviced for fire safety concerns. There's no screen over the opening. A screen should be over the opening for fire safety reasons. That concludes the video portion of the inspection. Be sure to review the written report for all the findings.